Loggers, this is Season 4, Episode 4. Tonight our host, as always, we've got Curtis James.
Hey.
Back from us after being sick last week, we've got Heather, a.k.a. Stormy.
Hello.
And myself, I am Chase, a.k.a. Viking Redbeard.
That was a sultry intro. Hello.
Well, my voice is deeper because it's all freaking...
Hello. That being said, we are talking about Week 3 of the LCS. We had good things happen, we had bad things happen. Now we're going to tell you about them.
Yeah! You know what? Let's start off on one of those good notes. At least for most people, it's a good note. For some people who'd like to see this team fail, I guess it's a bad note. But TSM started off the season 0-2. They dropped their very first 2 games of the season to Immortals, and Team Liquid in Week 1 weren't looking very good at all. We talked about it in Episode 2. And then Week 2 beat Evil Geniuses and CLG. Mm-hmm. Good win. I mean, nice to get the wins, but nobody's impressed by those teams. Still aren't. This week, they had Dignitas and Golden Guardians, and they went ahead and won those 2 as well. All of a sudden, TSM, 4-2, tied for second place, and looking like one of the better teams in the league. So, are they for real, or is it just a stretch of weaker teams overall?
Well, so Dardoch kind of had a pretty rough start. Losing against Immortals it seemed like it was a little bit more of a bigger issue than what it seems to be, because Immortals has been looking a little bit better. But they stumbled that first week, and then I think Dardoch kind of got his footing. The rest of the team is starting to work around each other a little bit better. They are looking like that closer to top 3 team like we have seen them in the past. Yeah, I don't have much else to say. They're looking much better.
So do you think Dardoch's the person who's improving there the most, or has it just been the team as a whole?
Well, so he kind of had a pretty sloppy Week 1, in my opinion. He definitely wasn't the root cause of what was happening, but him playing the way he was playing, along with everyone else kind of running around with, chickens with their heads cut off, it just looks like a much better team. They're much more cohesive. They're working together instead of against each other. It's not every man for himself.
Yeah, that's important. I mean, personally, I thought Broken Blade's been the person who's impressed me the most over this past week. He looked really good against Golden Guardians, in my opinion. Who was he playing once again? He was on Ornn. No, the Ornn was in the mid lane, that's right. He played Kiana up top. And I thought he looked pretty darn good on that. And, of course, in the other game, he played Set, and his Set seems just fine, too. He wasn't, incredible on it, but he was very good on it, and he made a difference to the team. So I think Broken Blade's stepping up, and he's becoming an important part of that team right now.
Cool.
Cool. And that's how Stormy feels about it.
I'm not the biggest TSM fan, and
yeah.
So it's just weird to see that they're making this work, basically.
Yeah. Now, I guess here's another question. I did say, was it just weak teams, or are they actually improving? Which I do think they're improving. But if we're looking at the league as a whole, are they actually that good, or is it just most of the LCS right now is pretty bad?
I think it's just everyone's about the same skill set. I wouldn't say pretty bad. They're all pretty medium.
Freeze. Nope,
No, I'm just washed out.
Oh, sorry, I'll fix it somehow.
Not a biggie.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of the even skill sets. I feel like the LCS as a whole is pretty behind still at the moment.
Yeah.
Most of the teams aren't looking too hot.
I feel like the way all the players kind of shook out into all the teams, it just spread all the skill out to where nothing's really just so strong anymore.
Yeah. Well,
except for C9, obviously, but we'll get there.
And so many teams are still adjusting to their new rosters.
Yes.
So.
I imagine that's very difficult for a lot of them.
Yeah. Well, so let's move on to C9, who you mentioned. The one team in the league who is looking like they have it together. They are 6-0 right now.
They're crazy.
They are,
so
not only are they undefeated,
I'm so
their
jelly.
average game time is below 31 minutes.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous how good Cloud9 has looked coming out of this, out of how they ended last year, with all of the roster changes that they have made. I was a little bit apprehensive to think that they were going to come in the split and just demolish.
Yeah.
I actually kind of thought exactly the opposite.
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't thinking that they were going to like be bottom of the barrel tier, but I wasn't expecting them to come in with flawless victory week 3. Like, it's not an easy feat to have. Like, it's not even like they've had the easiest schedule. They've played Team Liquid. I guess Team Liquid's probably the only one that was probably a big hitter, but everyone else has played surprisingly well. So, still pretty good feat to have. If they come out of next week, it'll be even more impressive. But
yeah, I mean, the standard refrain on Reddit and Twitter and such between, or I guess right before the offseason ended, right before the season started, was Cloud9 lost the offseason. And, I mean, it's obvious why you would think that. They, no more Sneaky, lost Zven Scaren. It's Blabber instead of Zven Scaren. You lost, Sneaky, who's a very good bot laner, and Zazel, who seemed like he was pretty darn good overall, and I would have argued he's very good. And instead, it's like, okay, well, you have Vulcan, who... And Vulcan's Zven I wasn't, like, scared about so much, but a lot of people were, because it's like, well, Zven did terribly on TSM, and Vulcan's only played a split. It's like, well, yeah, but Vulcan was fantastic, so I don't know what you're worried about. But yeah, like, you see all that happen, and people said, oh, Cloud9 lost the offseason, and when it comes down to it, I think Cloud9 as an organization is very good at adjusting, and then they put in some time to boot camp before the season. They went to Korea and spent time there, and actually Vulcan and Zven did some beforehand on their own, and that's showing on stage. Because right now on stage, they're the one team who seems to understand how to work completely as a team, and they're just running over these other squads. They're just like, okay, at this time we're going to go do this. You met us there, fine, who cares, we're still better at it, and then they just beat you. Like, Blabber's Rift Herald steal against, I think, Golden Guardians, or not Golden Guardians, against Dignitas, was it? Yeah, it was against Dignitas. He had a Rift Herald steal. We'll actually see that highlight shortly. It was just disgusting. He, like, went over the wall, kicked away Grig, killed Grig, and then ends up going back over to the other side of the Rift Herald and killing it. So they not only got the Rift Herald they shouldn't have, they get a kill in the process before Blabber dies, and then they end up, I think, picking up another kill too. But it was just, it's the little things. They outfight every team right now. And I don't
It's impressive. I'm surprised. I'm on Team Chase over here. I had little expectations for him. I was worried about Zven. I swear to God, I was like, he got caught out so many times and died, and now he was deathless up until this weekend, and that's crazy. He still got his good KDA because he's only died once.
Yeah, he died the one Froggen flashed.
Yeah,
and
they
solo ulted him to get it.
Yeah, and it's just it's. I'm jealous. I really am. That's all I can say. They're playing so well. Blabber's exceeding expectations. The bot lane itself as a team is exceeding expectations. Niski's doing fantastic. I always liked Niski, though, so I'm glad I can say that.
Yeah.
Like, I've always been on Team Niski.
Niski seems like just such a fun, nice dude.
Yeah, he really does. And Licorice is there being Licorice. Like,
yeah.
Just all right.
I mean, I gotta say, so with the Zven, his one death, he's still, I think, 71 is his KDA or something.
Like that.
He has one death, so he can't die again if he's trying to get,
100.
He probably already has, like, the highest LCS KDA
yeah.
ever. So, but yeah, the 100, because, was it Chovy got, like, 114 or something?
Oh, did he? I didn't know that.
Yeah, Chovy started last season, or last split, with, like, one death. He got one death earlier, but then he only had that one for a long time.
Wow.
But yeah, it's interesting to see how well this team is working as a team. Did you happen to see the chat that people clipped out of ProView from after Zven's death? Zven all chatted worth ? And there's a bunch of the flash timers from Niski, like, put them in there.
Yeah.
But then the all chat response from Froggen was get carried.
They said that in the middle of their LCS game?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
After the
That's
fight, like,
hilarious.
Sven might have. I assume Sven did it after the fight too. But yeah, he put worth with a question mark, and Froggen responded, "Get carried."
Can you see that stuff in the Pro View? Do you see chat? Okay, that's fun.
That's where people are clipping it from because they can see it in Pro View.
I had no idea.
Yeah, considering this team had 3 new players, maybe not to the organization, but 3 new starters, that surprisingly have exceeded expectations.
Yeah, I mean, right now they're exceeding all expectations of any team. They are the team to beat by a margin right now.
And they've got TSM coming up, so I know that's going to be a good match for you since you were just talking about
I think
TSM
that's their
possibly
one
being
hurdle
good.
left. I think TSM's the other team who looks worthwhile at the moment.
Yeah.
Like consistently decent. And consistent's hard too because their first week was garbage. But I think they seem like the one other team who has things a bit under control. So they are the one team I worry about for Cloud9. They've been playing a lot through top with Broken Blade, whereas C9 really hasn't been. They've been mostly playing through mid or mid going elsewhere. With like Blabber and Niski have been working together a lot, whether it's in Niski's lane or roaming bot or top or whatever.
Yeah.
But mostly Licorice has been hard on an island, so it'll be interesting to see what happens there.
Yeah, I mean they've got the head-to-head against TL right now. That's going to be invaluable to them later this split.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes time for
the head-to-head's coming up here, but yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean
So
they've got the first win, so they can't ever be completely winless.
Their next win, their first game against TSM is this next game.
I was talking about TL.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry. Sorry. Yes.
thought you were talking
They've
Cloud9
got
TSM.
the
My bad.
first win over TL, which is going to be insurmountable later in this because I imagine that TL is going to get their stuff figured out now that Broxah will be back. I imagine they're going to have maybe one more week of them kind of floundering while Broxah gets his bearings.
Right.
But after this week, I bet they just do nothing but crush it.
And TSM won't even play them until week 6. And Cloud9 won't play them again until last game of the season. So actually, let's go ahead and move into that. Team Liquid, been struggling, still struggling. They are actually now 2-4. Thanks to CLG managing to somehow still lose their Monday night game, which we'll get to that. But CLG holding the bottom spot, TL one game above them in the standings, along with Golden Guardians.
EG.
Right? No. Oh, are there 3 of them? 3 of them, yeah. EG, TL, and Golden Guardians. Yep. No, you were right as well. So those 3 teams, though, with 2 wins apiece. I mean, Team Liquid, the going into the season favorite, even without their starting jungler, you would assume they'd be doing better than this, right?
They should have given up on the Senna. Two losses into that, they should have given up on it.
All 4 of their losses.
I know.
Senna.
100%.
I have a feeling. So this is the last patch that Senna is going to probably be as rampant as she is. They've got a buff or a nerf coming.
For the ADC, right?
Yeah, a nerf in the ADC role that will hit the LCS teams.
Right, the Soul Generation's
Coming
going
up this
down.
week.
Yeah, and so she'll be a little bit less viable. And I feel like I don't know that it was necessarily a double lift thing, but maybe it's probably got to be a double lift thing. Like he was like, you have to pick this. I have to get at least 1 win. I have to like.
I mean, he never got 1 win on Vladimir, and they went away from that.
Yeah. you gotta know when to cut your losses, and I'm terrible at that.
I have a
with
feeling
league,
it was a combination. I did hear talk from Steve Liquid saying that they had scrim results that were promising, and so that's like they kept coming back to it, and so yeah, the scrim not, I'm
watching his stream. He sucks on it on his
that's
like normal.
scrim. Scrim results are not stream. Those
solo queue, whatever. He sucks on it.
Yeah, but I mean, like Senna is very much a team, like great AD carry because she's giving utility to the team. So if the team's not playing,
She can
what
like
you should be
heal,
doing
buff.
as an
She can
ADC.
have like
Killing
cross
people.
the map. Like
I know.
Like
Yeah.
she's ridiculous.
she has
like,
a lot of shit, and that's
but-
why everyone wants to play her.
But
in
for
NA.
whatever reason, double lift just can't.
she
Because
doesn't
it's not
push.
a hard carry. It's not a wave clearing ADC, and that's what he's fantastic on.
I mean, so eventually, like when you hit the souls like number, she like that range gets really good. Like
Right.
there's so many good things
But
about her, but
she never has the speed to wave clear.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
Like, because you think of, like, Zaya or Kaisa that he would play, and, like, throw out a couple feathers, you recall it, fucking wave's gone.
yeah, and then you can pack up, you can go to your next
And
lane.
Senna, it's like, cue this, or, I'm sorry, auto this, cue the back
And
line,
they're dead.
auto this, and then you auto the fucking cannon minion, like, 3 times. Like, it takes forever by comparison.
Yeah, I suppose it is a little bit slower in comparison, but the team utility like totally makes up
Right.
for all of that.
I think when it comes
disagree
down to
with
it, DL's just not. He's not a utility type player unless it's Ashe. I think he can do Ashe just fine. But,
Even then, that's like little utility.
Yeah, I feel like he thinks a lot of people should like help him out, and he shouldn't be expected to help other people out. Like I don't know.
I mean, that's how every team who's had him has won, though.
Yeah.
Like, it works. I don't expect Uzi to become a, utility player all of a sudden either.
Yeah.
And I don't... It bothers me that they've been trying to have Double Lift do this. And, yeah, maybe Scrim results are going great, but...
Scrim's
like, when we were all sitting in the Discord, chatting during the Monday night game, and they picked Senna... They hadn't picked.
I wanted to switch. We all
Right.
did, really, but
Right, they hadn't picked their support yet, and I was just like, I'm hoping it's a bait into a support Senate. So they're like, oh, they're picking around, and then all of a sudden it's like, nope, Galio mid,
no,
Rumble.
support.
Oh, I know, but I was hoping it'd be
gotcha,
like Galio mid, Rumble top, Ash 80 carry, Senna support. Something like that, where it's like, oh shit, we fucking got you.
Yeah, I would have really liked to see the Senna support, like with Double Lift on a hard carry.
Do you think we're
Zven
going
or
to see
Broxah.
Senna support once these nerfs come through?
I don't
If
know.
we're
Not
going
before
to see
JJ.
her, I imagine it's going to be at support. Maybe
Yeah.
she's still
Well, she
somewhat
ain't gonna
viable.
jungle.
Well, yeah. I mean, she still got viability in terms of utility for the group. It's just the souls is a little bit nerfed, stuff like that.
Yeah. So, I don't know, it'll be interesting. So, Team Liquid, obviously, they're going to be happy Brox is back. His visa was approved Thursday before the games. So, yeah, that was a close call because they definitely would have not had him this split for sure if that was denied. But it was approved. He is supposed to receive his passport, with the approved visa, on this Thursday and fly to LA that same day. So that means he'll land Thursday evening or late, depending on obviously what time he gets it.
I expect there to be a hiccup. That's just too hopeful for
The
me.
plan is for him to play already this weekend.
But
obviously that could change, but I expect they'll have him play as long as he's not feeling completely jet lagged or just...
He can't
Just
be
feels
worse
groggy. Yeah.
than Churnfire.
Yes.
Like,
I'm so sorry, Shepard.
I feel bad for the guy
Practice a
too.
bit more.
Like, Team Liquid needed somebody. They needed a jungler, and who was it that they
Pole
had?
Belter.
Yeah, they were originally gonna have Pole Belter, and for as ridiculous as that sounds, it might not have been so bad.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like they were just
I
like,
kind of
okay.
would have loved to see it.
I would have
now,
loved to see
just
it too,
to see.
just to see it. Yeah.
Like, I mean, does things change dramatically? Maybe not. I'm gonna say probably not.
I say
but
probably. I don't think Brox is gonna come in and they're gonna hard stomp if Double Lift picks
not
Senna,
this
even
weekend.
with Broxah.
Well, Senna's never gonna be picked again.
I fucking hope not. Yeah, I'm really hoping for it.
TL this week is going to be playing Immortals and CLG. It's about as... I mean, Immortals, we'll talk about them actually next. They've been quietly good. But, CLG is the dumpster fire of the LCS right now.
Yes. I had them
let
second. I don't
Broxah
even
play
wanna
them.
point it out.
He'll beat them just on skill alone, you would think.
Yeah.
And I expect this team will start to come together with a more proactive jungler, because you can watch Schernfire and see in, at least 5 of their games that he's just not proactive. He's not getting stuff done for the team, and so the team's just falling behind. You have good enough players in Impact Jensen, Double Lift, and Core JJ to make shit happen, but when that linchpin who's supposed to help everyone make stuff happen isn't doing that, then of course you're going to fall behind and you're going to fail. But their team fighting has not been great either. It's been okay. So I think with Broxah they will get together. I think week 6, where they do finally face TSM, is where they should be online by that point a little bit. And I don't expect them to rival Cloud9 at all until maybe week 8 at the earliest. If they can start to pull it together, they have a chance in the playoffs to be like, you know what, we're still going to take this split. Absolutely. But... And I fully expect they'll make playoffs as well, because they'll just be good enough to get in at 6, for sure.
That's what we're hoping.
Yeah. But they've got a gap yet. Absolutely, they have a gap. And that's total mental gap, too, because that's where Double Lift was, near the wall. It's like, what? You know better. You're an 80 carry against a Lee Sin late in the game, and you're near your own base wall? No.
Yeah. It was ridiculous. Because they chatted right about that when they were talking to Closer. They're like, what did you think? How did you think that was going to go? He was just like, well, I told my team, I'm going in, guys, better come on. And
I've totally done that.
And
it's so satisfying as a jungler to be like, I'm going, and just hope everybody chases.
Yeah, and everyone went in and backed him up, and that, I mean, I'm not going to say that was a turning point in that match because they were already so far ahead, but that was just the big ol' FU to Team Liquid. It was just they have a chink in their armor. Golden Guardians exposed it. They penetrated it. This sounds very dirty.
It's getting there. Keep going.
They have a weakness.
Exposed and penetrated. Yep.
Yep. They didn't quite mean for it to go out like that,
It's
but
okay. They've been getting a train run on them by all the teams right now. So
I mean, Team Liquid's vulnerable right now.
They
Like
really are.
I imagine that. I mean, Immortals match might be a little bit more difficult this weekend, but I fully expect them to take the CLG match. Like, it's like free LG right now. So like, unless Broxah like shoots himself in the foot at some point before that match, like, and even then,
I'm pretty sure he gets a handgun right when he lands, right? If you step
I
on
think
the
that's
US
how
soil.
America works.
Yeah,
Here you
your
go,
US visa comes with a Glock. Not many people know that.
That's crazy, but
I mean, if it's a pleasure visa, you don't, but a work visa, it's required.
Yeah. So I think that this is going to be a good weekend for Team Liquid to rebound and kind of like reset basically, and then I feel like week 5 is when we really see them start to shine again.
As long as they have Broxah. That's
Yes.
the entire condition.
I fully expect he'll play just because it's an easier
Yes.
week. So let's do a quick hit on Immortals, if anybody has something to say about them, because they are quietly 4-2. They are
I'm
tied
so
with
happy for
TSM.
them. I wish I had kept my stock with them. I really do.
Like,
because I was rooting for Xmithy, and I'm excited for this upcoming match for him versus
yeah, they
TL.
went
I
2-0
really am.
this week. They've got TL and EG next week, so hopefully a 1-1 again for them. But really, their losses are only to FlyQuest and Cloud9.
Yeah.
Two of the other teams who have looked the best in the league.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we see this team who's secretly doing quite well. But we also see the same team on Monday night play one of the worst clusterfucks of a match I've seen against CLG.
Yeah.
So, what is the real Immortals? Are they
don't know.
good? Are they just barely better than the worst team in the league? Like, what is going on there?
That game was a dumpster.
I loved it.
That game was so fucking garbage.
I loved the
and they
ending.
won
It was
on
amazing.
a base race. Like as soon as like I saw them like keep fumbling around the Baron, I was like, oh shit. And then it was just over. I was just like, I bet CLG feels ridiculous
They
because
should.
they very well could have won that game.
Yeah.
But they were not playing the macro well. They were so focused on taking some of these objectives, which they had a bunch of. They out-objectived Immortals.
Right up
by-
until they lost.
Yeah, right up until they lost.
When the objectives mattered, then
Yeah, they prioritized like the soul, which would have helped them, if they didn't just expose the base. But like, yeah, they prioritized Baron way too much. Like the Baron was not worth losing.
The pace of this game, the expectation of this game was set for me right away in the mid lane when Ika's almost dead. Crown shoots off his electro torpedo, whatever it is. The Q from Rumble, his little torpedo shot, and he doesn't shoot it between the turret and the wall. He shoots it into the turret, so he definitely doesn't kill Ika. Also, Ika has blown his flash, and Crown doesn't flash follow. Like, flash, hit him, and walk away. Like, it was first blood. If he wanted it, and he just, like, didn't remember he didn't have flash, or whatever, but even beyond that, it's like, yo, you should have hit him with the harpoon. I called it torpedo. It's the harpoon. You should have thrown that between the turret and the wall, and you as a pro had your cursor an inch to the left. Wow. Like, it's a lined up alleyway shot. It's what you're supposed to do, and he couldn't do it, and the whole game was just a cluster.
it really was. He lives with like 1 health right here. Watch this shit.
Yeah.
Xmithy.
Yeah. But, like, these teams were not...
I'm not sold on
Impressing
Immortals being
anyone.
good. I just think that they got lucky a couple times.
Well, and it's weird. They beat TSM during TSM's bad week.
Yes. Yeah.
Since then, they beat Golden Guardians last week, but they beat 100 Thieves to start this week off, and they looked good in that game. How do you go from looking good against that 100 Thieves team to looking like this? They should have lost this game to CLG. And they pull it out with what was a very
great call.
smart play.
It was a great
Absolutely.
call. No, like there's so many there's not hardly any other teams that would have done that. Like,
Oh, yeah.
And it was just fantastic to see because no one expected it, obviously.
Yeah, Alltech was just
Alltech
I'm going to push in mid.
Is doing great.
Yeah.
Icon not so much, but Alltech I think went deathless in that
I
game.
believe so. Yeah, like I could definitely need to step up. I think Soaz is starting to get his stride because his Ornn looked pretty okay. His Cho'Gath the day before looked really good. And I think Xmithy is starting to bring this team together as a whole. I think also, I mean, granted, nobody would have said Schernfire was an upgrade over Xmithy. Like, obviously the idea would be Broxah is.
Yeah.
But Xmithy is once again proving why he has been one of the best junglers in NA for so
He's
damn
consistent.
long. He just makes people around him better.
Yeah.
He is smart. He is a leader. And like you said, he is consistent. He makes things happen and makes a team better. If this Immortals team ends up being a top 3 team, like that is just freaking Xmithy all over. But I mean, I think that cements Xmithy is possibly one of the best NA players ever. Like, yeah, he's not ever going to get the praise, like, double lift.
Yeah,
but
he's
like,
quiet.
Yeah,
He's
exactly.
quiet.
But you can't look at his stats and the teams he's been on and the people he's played with.
Soaz calling this, like, I feel like Soaz is going to be a shot caller too, just because they said that he was making this call. He's like,
Soaz
go
has
in
always
now.
been a shot caller, and he's always been a big fan of the backdoor.
And I'm really happy that Xmithy followed up with him on that. He did the flash over the wall. The casters talked about it. Freaking stopping the backs. Great play by him.
Yeah,
I mean, they all kind of like just squeeze that out perfectly.
What sucks is that a team that looked so good on Sunday had one good play basically all of Monday. Luckily for them, it won the game.
It's the only one you need.
So I'm interested to see what we get out of Immortals against TL and EG.
Me too.
So this is the beginning of Crown's second season in the U.S.
Correct.
He came from Korea.
Yes.
Did he play like
world champion?
Did he play EU or anywhere else
No.
prior to that?
As far as I know.
Only Korea.
So the chat kind of brought it up about possibly Crown's English. Do you think there could be potentially like a language barrier? Like, I feel like Crown is underperforming, but Crown is such a good player. So like, not to say it's all Crown's fault, but do you think that there could possibly still be a language barrier
So
issue?
it's not that he doesn't speak, like there are players in NA who are worse than him. Actually, maybe not anymore at this point. There have been though. He's not like Impact where he's pretty fluent, but he's also pretty good. He put a lot of effort into learning English early on.
Okay.
But yeah, I think it doesn't help.
Yeah, then I just don't really know what's going on here. Like they are just, everyone is trying to self-carry, and no one really seems to care what anyone else is doing.
And that's where I would get in there. Exactly. I think the team doesn't play cohesively.
Yeah.
Like you said everyone's trying to self-carry. So it's like, oh, Crown's trying to make something happen in mid, but like nobody's there with him making it happen. Or Ruin, and I don't think Ruin's a coin flip without having the immense upside that Huni has. Like, if you're gonna be Huni, you have to have that upside.
Yeah.
Like, you can't be like, oh, when I play well, I play like, I belong on the LCS stage.
Yeah.
It's like, great, that should be your middle, buddy. Like, at least like somebody like, you gotta have an upside that's similar to Viper or Broken Blade if you're gonna be a coin flip.
Yeah.
And I don't feel
Ruin
like
doesn't have that in
I don't
his
feel like
pocket.
he reaches that ceiling. And then, of course, it doesn't seem like he's generally playing with the team. Like, their one win, he was playing so well with the team. He was playing Soraka.
Yeah, that was interesting.
And you know what?
Because it was so different,
He
too.
was very, very good on that Soraka. I think it worked out quite well. But in their 2 games this week, we saw him rock that Soraka, and then the follow-up game, the one last night, we saw him playing Aatrox. And, like, we've seen him mostly playing carries. I feel like maybe Ruin should just be on Ornn and, top laners who are assisting the team.
Mm-hmm.
I think Gnar could be a good one, even though he's totally out of meta right now. But, like, Ornn feels like the pick you just always want to have him on.
Yeah, I like Ornn. Ornn's so tanky. He does so much for the team.
And
He's
he
such
does a good
pick.
amount of damage, too.
Yeah.
Like, if Set wasn't so... walking the razor.
Yeah.
I would say somebody like Set, because Set gets real tanky. But I just want to see Ruin on, like, tanky top
okay
laners.
with
Maybe he
Ornn
should learn
set.
the Cho'Gath or something.
Cho'Gath, yeah.
I would love to see a buff that gets like if Maokai would get back in the meta, throw him on Maokai, you know,
Maokai
something
would
like
be
that. I think that would help Ruin because
Speaking of
Yeah,
meta,
he
I
doesn't
want
pop
3
off the
seconds
same
when
way.
you're done.
yeah,
And I
go
want to
for
talk
it.
to Crown about Crown too.
This is diverging away from
Oh,
CLG.
absolutely. I've said basically everything I've got to say about CLG. If Heather
CLG
has something,
Just on Crown, because I wanted to circle back
Yeah.
to that. Like
Oh,
you were talking about.
I'll let you go first then.
Okay, because we're getting away from it after this, right?
Yeah, well,
yes.
slightly.
Go ahead and do.
I think. I mean, Crown's a great player. He's obviously a world champion. I think there's so many like little holes to his playstyle though, where he just doesn't make the correct decision, the good decision, or the skill shot. I feel like he's actually on the back burner from that, and it's not. I can't imagine that it's just his communication. You're right. You know, not being able to speak completely with your team, who are all English speakers, as far as I know.
Right.
That's got to be a detriment to your team play. But
Should
like
it
you were
hurt his solo
mentioning,
laning?
but his solo laning is lacking, even from last split. I saw so many like missed abilities and just missed plays and missed, like you were talking about First Blood, like it was right there. He could have had it, and that's something you want to get.
Yeah.
You know, like if you can manage it, you want to pull that off.
Yeah.
Even if you die second, worth.
Yeah.
But I like Crown. I think I was happy that CLG would pick him up. But at the same time, like I'm under impressed. I'm real sad about it.
Yeah.
And the bot lane too, but that's another thing. We'll go to.
I wanted to bring up a little bit of like the different characters we saw. We saw Vel'Koz come back. We saw Malzahar come back.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one surprised me.
We saw
Cho'Gath from the top.
Yeah, Cho'Gath in the top. I think we saw Elise a little bit last week, but we saw a little bit more of her. It's just interesting how like they're on the same patch that they started this season on, and
No. Week 1 was on a patch, and then 2 and 3.
okay.
So every 2 weeks are a patch.
okay, never mind then. Not quite.
But still, all of last week we didn't see these characters so much.
Yeah, exactly. The Kiana came back today or this past weekend, like, and it looked so good.
Yeah, I got 2 plays. Broken Blade in top and Niski in mid both played.
And then Rumble not played in the top lane, but played in the middle.
Which I
we
don't
saw
like.
Ken in top. Like, I mean, we just saw a
Kennen,
bunch
yeah.
of like random things. I was like, oh, that's gonna be fun.
Yeah, I like that teams are trying things out, and I think the more often that happens, the better the league will be, because teams need to not get trapped into I have to play this champion, Team Liquid.
Thank you.
They need to play now, and
I was just
and the
thinking it
Kennen,
too.
while a weird pick, and I don't think you were necessarily a fan of it, that was probably the best playing champion in that
Yeah,
team.
I
Like, he
mean-
was getting flanks, he was getting stuns off. It was
It's
just
still
there's no
impact on
follow-up.
Kennen, right? You know, it's,
Right.
it's decent.
But like, so as is Cho'Gath did super well. Ruin Soraka did super well. Niski and Broken Blade both did really well on Kiana. Like, there's people picking things that aren't like the top pick and showing up on it, and I want to see more of that. Froggen should force other teams to ban his Anivia the way everyone has to ban Viper's Riven.
He
There-
should just play it. Like
Yeah.
if it's open, fucking
No,
pick it.
I get it. It's not good into every comp, and it's not good on every comp, so he can't just do it. But like, if there's an opportunity to pick it, they should like start saving mid towards the end, and they do for the most part already. But they should save it more and be like, all right, we can pick Anivia, boom, and just drop it once or twice. Have people hate playing against it, and then just get a free ban the rest of the year. Because even like Cloud9 banned Riven against FlyQuest, they don't want to fuck with it.
Yeah.
It's a free ban for FlyQuest. It will help their drafts the rest of the year.
Yeah.
Like, it allows them to make trades where it's like, okay, we're going to ban Aphelios, and we're going to ban Xayah. Double lift, would you like to first pick the Misfortune? No? Great, we'll pick it. You probably want the Senna now, because everything else is pretty far down the list. Like,
I hated that so much.
it was such a good ban,
It
pick ban.
was.
And I think creative picks make for better pick ban phases. So I'm all with you, Chase. I'm so excited about these.
Yeah, the Leona looked really good this weekend as well. It was the first time I've seen Azir in a minute, it feels.
Yep.
What else was weird? Anything? Did I miss anything? The Rakan came back for a game. I know that
Rakan?
he's not been like
Camille, too.
super like he still shows up every now and again, but like
Yep.
he made a couple like big plays this weekend.
Yeah, we've seen a few Camille's. Licorice kind of brought that back in, it looks like. But yeah, I hope to see this continue, honestly.
Yeah,
That's
no, I
basically-
definitely I like the meta changing. I like seeing some of these characters have like their resurgence.
Soraka top.
Yeah, so Rocket Top. Like
I'm all right with that.
I've played in in a solo game
hate-
against a Soraka
Yeah,
top.
me too. Fucking hate life.
And the Soraka top just owned me. And then my jungler was like, "What are you doing, bro?" I was like, "Well, I'm fucked, and you're not helping me, so we're all fucked."
Yeah.
She actually, I mean, the patch we're on now, and they will be next week, nerfed it. But I played it pre-patch, and oh my god, she did so much damage with that Q. And then she's building
herself.
like AP, and she is healing herself like. Unless you're mobile. Oh, and guess what? Her Q's on a lower cooldown than your mobility. So, like, if she's good with it at all. And then it wave clears pretty decent, too. Like, it was just so obnoxious. I fucking hated my life so hard.
Yep. When you see the only other thing that I've seen like in like solo queue that really fucks me is like seeing like a Sona top. It's just like, well, I don't know what to do here. Here you go.
She's not nearly as good as Soraka,
Not
so
as
you
good.
can fuck on her.
Yeah.
But yeah, all right,
What are we going
guys.
on to next?
Let's do a few fun things. If you guys have any topics, things you want to chat about in the chat, any ideas you have, anyone in the chat on Twitch, go ahead and throw those in there now. Chase will take down some notes, get those prepared on the side. But Chase is gonna be distracted for the next little bit, so just throw them in there and we'll check them out. Chase, over the weekend, last weekend even, you were curious how Monday games were affecting teams who had the day off in between, as opposed to teams who played Sunday then Monday. And following Immortals pulling out that miraculous win against CLG, teams who played Sunday and Monday, so did not have a day off in the middle, are 5-1 so far in Monday matches. So tell us how you feel about that.
I don't really know how I feel. Like, I don't really like Monday matches just because it throws a wrench in my Monday plans. However, like, I wanted to know if it had an impact on the players themselves. I tweeted out to every single team. Unsurprisingly, I heard back from none of them. Mostly because, like, I'm sure that they're either not allowed to say anything negative about Monday matches, regardless of their feelings about it.
Yeah.
Considering only teams at most have played 2 of them so far, I bet they don't have much of an opinion yet.
And that as well. But yeah, like, I was very curious, like, is there a correlation? Like, having 2 days in a row of playing, do you do better than if you have a day off? And it seems like if you play Saturday and then again on Monday with a day off, you're more likely to lose on Monday.
So the only loss that the Sunday-Monday team has sustained so far was in Week 1, TSM losing to Team Liquid. Now, TSM was super garbage that week. TL, not great either, but not TSM bad. Because that was the week where TSM didn't know how to do anything mid-game. There's been some interviews since then that they're like, yeah, after week 1, we're all like, we need to just practice mid-game because that was bad. And, like, they've been 4-0 since then. Granted, they had week 2 to kind of ease into that.
Yeah.
And I think, like, I looked at it, and most of them seemed like the way you would have expected them to go for them. Although there were some, like, close games in there. Dignitas had one of their games on Monday. I think Dig Fly was Monday, maybe? Or Dig TL? Or no, it would have been Dig TL. I think Dig Fly or Dig EG.
It's harder to remember now.
Yeah. But, like, there was a few on Monday that were close games. But, yeah, when it comes down to it, TSM against TL is the only time the Sunday team lost to the Saturday team on the Monday game. I'm sure that's a very easy sentence to follow.
Yeah, it just seems a little bit potentially unfair, because that requires these players to turn it on for an extra day when they probably turned it off on Sunday.
Yeah.
And so, like, they play their Saturday match, they go into their Sunday knowing they're not playing. So either they're streaming, scrimming, grinding, they're doing something, or maybe they're not. Maybe they're hanging out watching matches, trying to see if they can find weaknesses and stuff like that.
You know, we haven't, and I was actually going to go exactly where you ended there, trying to find weaknesses. We haven't seen Cloud9 play on a Monday yet, and them being like the one really put together team. I'll be curious to see if they can be as or more dominant on Monday if they are the Saturday team, because I would expect a team that seems to have that good of a coaching staff and everything to spend their Sunday watching their opponent and then just doing all their draft stuff. Like, even, you know, the moment they see the draft and their, you know, coaches are, like, working on draft stuff even more now based on that. And then, like, the whole team sitting there and analyzing every, little thing of their opponent. And if you can use that prep properly, like, not only, what did they look like last week? What did they look like the week before that? What did they look like in the scrims we've had against them a couple weeks ago? Like, literally, what did they look like today? We're playing them tomorrow. It's possible to get an advantage from that. Now, we haven't seen it yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if towards the back half of this season we see the top teams, whether that's Cloud9. I would expect it to be like Cloud9, Liquid, TSM, FlyQuest probably. I wouldn't be surprised to see those teams racking up wins if they have Sunday off. To just get to watch their opponents and be like, and this is how we destroy them. Great, let's go.
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting for me to watch, but as of right now, I think I'm with you, Chase, at the being online and then having the day where you're not like on stage, and so that competitive aspect gets dropped a little bit, hurts you trying to go back into Monday nights.
Mm-hmm.
So
I have an idea for this later, by the way.
yeah. So what's a topic we gotta chat there, Chase?
We have one. What do you think the chances of C9 staying undefeated for the rest of the season being?
Of the season, like a straight undefeated season hasn't happened ever, so I'm gonna say very unlikely.
Oh, I said 0 or -0. Because they're the same.
I will say 1. Just
there's no way. Season, definitely not. Split, still super unlikely.
Oh well, okay. When he says season, I would assume he
I
means
just meant
through
split.
week 9.
Yeah, I just meant split.
That's what I would assume that means.
All right, I just read it as I saw it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I would say like the chances of going 18-0 are very low. Now I think this squad in this current LCS with teams looking as dysfunctional as they do is probably one of the best opportunities a team will ever have to do it. Mm-hmm. But I still put my money on them dropping 2 games.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, and that's reasonable. That's expected. Like, I mean, you can't have every game be your best game. Like, RNG plays into a factor. Like, every single game you play, like, now that their souls are there and, like, the map changes, like, there's just way too many, like, more RNG variables at hand here.
Well, and I fully expect a team that's doing as well as they are to try different things. Cloud9 has never been a team... it's not like Liquid... I mean, even Liquid, like, when they were dominating, were trying different things. That's why we got to see Double Lift Vlad twice in a split. Because they're like, well, Mage bot lane's a thing. Let's try... Okay, no, it didn't work. Later on, let's try it one more time. Like, now, granted... And that's why I said this team, I think, has the best chance. Because, like, something like Liquid, where it's like, they were so, and will be again, so good at playing that style. Where it is heavy setup and playing through bot lane. Mm-hmm. Cloud9's good at a lot of things. And I think that's why they have a better chance. Because it's not like, oh, does the meta not favor Niski right now? Or Zven or whatever? Like, they're not going to be taken down by the meta. And they're also going to be able to try different things and be good at different things. But at the same time, if you're trying different things, you're probably not going to nail it every time. You're going to fuck up one of these goes.
Yeah. And not to say that in a bad way. Like, I mean, it would be great if they did. Super duper unlikely.
First team to do it. Immortals, 17-1 is the best 18-game season we've had split. Yeah. Immortals lost 1 game back when they were last in the LCS.
The other one was more of an open-ended question. It was just C9 Zven.
Zven did finally die once to Dignitas, the 71 KDA still. I think he's just been really impressive, and not only has he played well, but Vulcan has been fantastic, and that's why we're seeing what we're seeing. I mean, it's like when last season, Double Lift and Core JJ were just on the whole time. Yeah. And we're seeing that out of this Cloud9 bot lane. I can't wait to see a good Team Liquid against this Cloud9 so I can watch those bot lanes go at it. Yeah. That's what I want to see more than I think any other lane matchup in the fucking league. I don't care about Blabber or Zven or Svenskeren against Broxah. I don't give a shit about any other lane as much as I care about seeing Double Lift Core JJ versus Zven and Vulcan when both teams are playing well.
Very excited about that. If it fucking comes down to that last game of the split of C9 and
TL, the next time they face,
and Doubles Lift's like, Senna. I'm just gonna go.
Everyone will be like, dude, she was nerfed 4 patches ago. It's like, I got this, bros.
I mean, it's obviously not gonna happen. It's just one of those things that I'm like, the fear.
He plays Senna, and Core JJ's like, fuck it, I guess I'll play Callista and be the carry.
He's gonna throw Senna into the fucking team.
Yeah,
Nice.
it won't work well.
And then follow-up question, how many more deaths do you see from Zven this split?
A few. I don't think he'll go completely on this one.
Yeah.
Death.
Oh no. There's no chance he ends this split with one death at all.
No.
I think he can make it through this next week with one death still. Like that, if he makes it past the TSM game, he should definitely make it through the EG game. And if he does that, he might hit 100.
I think we should do.
Well, he only got like 6 in this last game, or like because he was at 65.
Yeah, he got like a little over 10 this past week or something like that. But
I think we should all try to pick and then
do a pull on it.
Yeah, and see
like
if we can get within like 3 of there, maybe 5. Like I don't know, because like he could have a really shit game and go like 1 and 8. Like, like it's unlikely, but it could happen.
So I think the other teams are gonna get better. Mm-hmm. Also, Cloud9, will do some like weird comp, not weird, but different stuff. I see his death total on the season ending at. Let's see, they've got 6 games done, 12 to go, and he's got 1. I'm gonna say 15 on the split.
God damn it, that's what I was gonna say.
Really?
Should got it first.
I was going lower.
I was going like it seems reasonable. I'll say 20 then, and we're gonna give. Like,
I thought you would just go like 16.
Nah, I'll give there a little bit of a gap.
I'll go low then. I'll go 11.
11. All right.
Yeah.
And the goal is to try to get within 3 of either way.
12.
That way, because I'm the 3 between you.
Oh, maybe I should go 18 then.
Yeah, I would go.
All right, 18.
I like this.
Because I think 15 is the sweet spot, actually.
And my hot take was Zven's good again. So if I get closest, I'm happy with this.
So you got to be within 2.
Within 2? All
yeah,
right.
well, because 13 is within 2 of you and
All
me.
All right, yeah.
Actually, 14 is as well, because there's only 3. So
Well, I was going to say 3, but...
Well, yeah, no, but we're within 3 of each other.
Exactly. Then we all win.
No, so it would still be... Like, if you're dead on, the other person would tie with you.
Oh, yeah, fuck.
So you can tie. You can tie if they're between us.
Kev says 7, which is
Kev,
a low ball.
All right, I'll put you guys in. If you
I was at 9 originally, and I'm upping this because they went up. So
if you guys give me your numbers, I'll write yours down too.
Jeff also says 12.
Jeff says 12. What a bitch.
Nice, Jeff.
No, you can't pick it.
You can pick it. We can win.
But yeah, I think that was a fun little
like
question.
Yeah.
All right, so any final
said that.
hot takes before?
I don't like hot takes because I'm bad at them. I don't understand it, and I don't even care. And I just want Zven to hit 12.
So the answer is no.
12 deaths.
So I have one more question that was not in the chat.
Oh, yeah.
Since the one person I love to hate on has actually not been playing so terrible, thoughts on Afro?
I think Afro having Johnson, who's a very good at ADC. No, okay, he's a quite good at ADC. I think that's working for him. He's playing about as well as he was playing when he had Cody-san.
Okay.
So I think he's doing fine. I don't think he's back to what people would refer to as old school Afro move, former MVP Afro move.
Yeah.
He's not back to that. But he also doesn't have the level of team around him, I think, to become that right now.
I still think he makes questionable decisions because there's been 2 different games where he tries to back and he gets caught, and he's either died or his
were
back
those
was
the 2
interrupted.
games this week?
I
TSM and Cloud9.
I know it was in the TSM Dig one, and then the other one was
It was either FlyQuest or Cloud9. But
yeah,
I think he needs to continue to stay out of his own way.
Yeah. We need to pay attention.
Like, he's making some pretty good plays most of the time, but it does seem like here and there he gets a little bit lazy.
Yeah, there you go. That's a good way to put it. It's just laziness. Like, you need to get to a safe distance or get to a non-warded brush and complete your back when he's
focused, and particularly right now when he's being aggressive, he's making the right calls. Yeah. It's when that... it's like, okay, well, nothing's going on at this moment, and he takes a moment off. And if he can stay focused and on point through whole games, he does much better. Mm-hmm. Overall, he's looking pretty fine. It's weird to see the targets of our hate for the past year or so have been Afro Moo and 100 Thieves. And 100 Thieves feels pretty meh right now, and Afro Moo feels pretty meh right now. Like, meh with a slight positive tone, I guess. Like, I'm not upset at either of them. They're not the dumpster fire that's CLG. They're not the really unfortunate state that Team Liquid is right now, and they're not, just like bottom dwelling for no good reason. I'd like to say one person who has gotten some pretty big hate in Reddit up until this week, and I was calling him out a bit last week, Keith on Golden Guardians. Keith was not looking good when he was playing in the first 2 weeks. He was playing Kench, though, which made him look worse. He played Thresh this week, and he looked really good on that Thresh. Yeah. Like, not like a top-tier support, but he looked good. He was making plays. He was helping his team make plays. I want to see Keith on Thresh, possibly Leona, Blitz. Like Nautilus, maybe Blitz.
Anything with a hook.
Yeah, I don't know about Blitz as much, but I would say I'd say Thresh, Nautilus, and maybe Leona are probably the stuff you need to see him on. Engaged champions that have lots of like peel to help save his team as well. Yeah. Thresh seemed great. If I'm a team playing Golden Guardians, I'd probably ban out a Thresh if I feel like I can spare it in first round. That'll do it for Season 4, Episode 4 of League of Vloggers. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you again next week after the Week 4 matches. Until then,